So our next unit is on sequences. We have two types of sequences, arithmetic and geometric. We're going to start with arithmetic, and we have to find the difference between consecutive terms. So remember, consecutive means in order, and constant means it happens the same amount each time. So a arithmetic sequence is really going to be an add-subtract sequence. So we have the following sequence. If there is a common difference, this is the amount that it's adding or subtracting by is the same. So here we have 7 and 7 and 7. So yes, this is arithmetic. And the common difference is 7. But this one says 7 and then 9. So they're different, so this is not arithmetic, so we don't have a common difference. So pause me and do C and D, and then check yourself. Welcome back. So this is plus 3, but this is plus 4, so you should have said no, not arithmetic. 4 and 4, so yes, common difference of 4. So we can write our arithmetic sequences in multiple ways. We have a recursive formula and an explicit formula. So in the recursive formula, you have to have the first, or not just the first, but all of the previous ones in the list that you need. The explicit formula is much nicer. You just need the first and what it's multiplying by, and you can find any. So when you look at a sequence, you need to think of it as a table. And our table for a sequence is going to start with 1, not 0. So our first term is 2, our second is 11. Is there a common difference? Yes, you can see that we are adding 9 each time. And this right here, this 2, this becomes your a sub 1. Okay? Here's your common difference. So if we were to write this explicit, or say a sub n, where n is any term that we want, is equal to our first term of 2 plus n minus 1, and our common difference was 9. Now, we aren't used to writing our distributive property at the back. You could also write a sub n is 2 plus 9 times n minus 1, and it would be the same thing. The recursive is a little bit trickier. So you need the previous one. So we always need to write what our first term is. And in this case, again, it's 2. They're writing this one in function notation. So we're going to say f of 1, because that's our first term, is 2. And then we're going to say f of n is equal to whatever the next term is. So we're going to say a times n minus 1, where a is whatever term we have, plus 9. And that one's a little trickier because you have to have, if you want to find the fourth term, you need to know that the third one was 20. And we'll look at plugging that in right now. So given this next sequence, common difference is 20. Explicit, we're going to start with that one because that is the easiest. So our first term is going to be 100 plus 20 times n minus 1. Now this one, we're going to say our first term was 100, and so whatever term you have after that is going to be that term minus 1 times 20. So here's your common difference. So if we want to find 15, well, with the explicit, that's super easy. 15 is our n. So we're going to say 100 plus 20, 15 minus 1, 100, 20 times 14, 100 plus 280 is 380. So the 15th term is 380. We can write it as a coordinate point if we needed to. This one's a little trickier because you have to continually keep going. So you need to know what the first term is. So if we say, I'll make a little table here, first term we know was 100. Well, what's happening to it? We're saying, okay, second term, 2 minus 1, which is 1. The first term was 100, plus 20. I forgot my plus up here. Makes it 120. Ugh. Then you got to do the same thing for the third one. So then you say 120 plus 20 because it's the previous term. This is the second term. 140. We would have to do this all the way to number 14 to get 15. So for 15, we're going to write f of 15 minus 1, which means you would have to have 14 plus 20. So we're not actually going to solve that one because we don't want to make the whole table. What would you choose? I will always choose the explicit. It is a lot easier. So I want you to try example 1 and 2, and tomorrow when you come to class, we'll look at it and we'll see if we can't give some bonus points for that.